So good round one. Disappointing last week. How are you reading them coming into this one?
Look, we're confident. They're a very good team. Our best is very good, good enough to win the game. We're just going to make sure our tackling's a lot better than last week and we get first hands on it. We think we can really get the ball inside our forward 50 and expose their defence, but we've got to get first hands on it first.
Well, you are going small on the bench right from the word go. Are you backing your tools? Is that where you think you can win this game?
We're going to back our midfield to get first hands on. Their midfield's very good. We think we're very capable as well, so that's where the game's going to be won and lost.
And round 19 at this venue last year, Gehrig and Rewalt got hold of you a little bit, kicked 8 between them. Who gets the jobs on them at the start of the game?
Yeah, look, Gasper and Ray Hall will be down there. We've got some terrific matchups they have too, so it's going to be a good contest.
Thanks for your time, Danny. Back to you, Hutto.
Thanks, Andrew. Well, the Saints, as we can see, the Tigers, who they're playing against, the Saints have made one change today, a late change. One of their young guns, Xavier Clark, is out, and Troy Swartz coming in for a bit of extra backup. It's going to be a big job for those Tigers out there, Michael.
Oh, it certainly is. And Danny Foley was quite correct. The midfield is the key, and they just need their midfield to get on top. But it's going to be difficult because St Kilda's, one of their hallmarks so far, right through the Wizard Cup and in the opening 2 rounds, has been the consistency of and the class, in fact, of their midfield.
Overcast conditions, but a big crowd at the Telstra Dome. Monday afternoon football, holiday football on Network 10. Around the country, all is in readiness. The Tigers are in tight. The Saints likewise at centre-half forward. Stephen Silvani, big day for footy again.
It is, and what a test it is for the Tigers today. They've been under a bit of pressure throughout the week, but really today's the day they've got to stand up. Matthew Richardson, of course, up forward, and I think today's a day for Brad Ottens to stand up. A few question marks over his form over the last couple of weeks, but needs a big one for the Tigers today.
Wayne Campbell winning the toss and kicking to the right of screen. Let's get down to Andrew Amar to check on those conditions. Andy.
Conditions have never been more perfect here for footy, Hutto. I'm prepared to say that this ground is in as good a nick as I've ever seen it. Just repeating what you said earlier too, the roof is open. It is overcast. Looks like a chance of a bit of drizzle or a bit about, but it's pretty good right now. This ground is in perfect condition.
Thanks, Andrew. Well, Jason Blake has gone into the ruck for the Saints for the opening bounce. Already some pushing and shoving going on.
Stafford gone forward for the Tigers.
And Brad Ottens in the ruck. Campbell in the middle with Johnson and Bowden. Keller take on Harvey and Ball for the Saints and Lenny Hayes. We're underway. Ottens with the first meaningful tap. Coughlin and Johnson combining. Cracker coming off the half-forward line. And a bounce.
Well, with Ottens starting in the ruck, Stafford has pushed forwards. Kazitsky has gone to him. But the other interesting one is Callaway starting up forward for the Tigers.
So Ottens and Blake. Blake obviously the more mobile, trying to get hands on it there. Maguire down to Ball. Hayes. Gasper running with Rewalt, so Blake pushing forward as the extra option. Just played on automatically, didn't really look, he had nowhere to go as it turned out, but the supporting cast was there. Tiger free kick plucked out, and it'll go back to Mark Chaffey.
And at the other end of the ground, Ty Zantuck is picking up Aaron Hamill.
Hall accepts the kick from Chaffey to Johnson. Kick towards half-forward, chipping across Voss, well played. Has really grown in stature as an AFL football, Brett Voss, over the last year and a half. Powell chips in short, Blake prominent early. Chaffey getting back, just clogging up centre-half back. He chips across the ball instead. Luke Ball runs to 50, left foot kick, goal, and Gehrig will shepherd. Opening goal to the Saints, Luke Ball. Well, a wonderful opening. He is a talented footballer, Luke Ball, and James Blake in action early.
Yeah,
Stephen Silvani.
Well, it was a clever kick over to Luke Ball. The Tigers defenders were sitting back, and also they're on balls. They were expecting the kick to go inside the 50, but they managed to get the ball, square it up, and Luke Ball found some space and put the first one through for the Saints.
Luke Ball at just 19 has made a wonderful start to the year. He's in the action again. Gets help from his captain. And Lenny Hayes to give the ball back to the umpire. Brett Allen. There's the Tiger bench. Tim Fleming. Ottens. Bowden. Callaway, as we mentioned, starting forward.
Big job for Ray Hall starting on Fraser Garrick, his 50th game.
Ottens with the tap. Again, Coughlin over it. And not going too far.
Fiora has Stephen Milne.
We saw last week how important the body language is for the Tigers early in the game. They've just got to be really in the thick of it, don't they? And need to put some physical pressure on. It'll be interesting to see their response after the Saints have kicked the first goal here.
And this is where the Saints are so good around the stoppages. Just so important that the Tigers win their share.
Otten's certainly getting his hand on the ball. That's the thing that St Kilda are sacrificing with Blake for his run around the ground.
And he finds a man this time, but Coughlin finding it very hard to break the shackles.
Well, the Tigers have just dropped a man back at the moment. Looks like he's coming off the ground. No, Chappie's the one they're trying to release down back. And St Kilda are opting to have more plays around the ball.
The Tigers will break clear this time. Tivendale on his wrong side, guides it pretty nicely into the pocket. Morrison presented, no free kick. Maguire and Jones, and the Saints out of trouble. Goddard took the boundary on, and the umpire was Johnny on the spot, and will throw it in at half forward. Interesting with the ruck contest, they've clearly got the height advantage. Steve, do you think they'll go with trying to tap it and find their man, or will they go with the big knocks forward?
Yeah, well, no doubt Richmond do have the advantage, and this is where Stafford needs to assert his authority, needs to work his player over in Blake.
You can see the height advantage there, so what will he do? He goes with the palm down, but the Saints able to control it at ground level. Ball back to the wing, Del Santo outsized by Chaffee. Bowden wanted to get onto his left, made it a little difficult for Stafford. Ball did well not to give away a free. Blake,
well done.
Great perception. Ball takes his man on with confidence and uses Powell on the way out. Over Harvey's head. Back to Maguire. They're lining up across half-back and through the middle. Baker, Maguire. Confidence ever building. Gehrig the target around 3 Tigers. And Ottens, that's a lovely sight for Tiger fans.
Well, Ottens peels away from the ruck contest. He's the loose man dropping back at the moment for Richmond.
Brown kicks out wide to Johnson. There is a St Kilda player down outside the boundary line and looks in all sorts of trouble.
He does.
Was it Blake?
Johnson towards Richardson. Well, Penny did very well and has paid the mark. It is Blake. Kicks into ball. Ball to Harvey. Robin Harvey. Loose player on the wing. Peckett. Something building here for the Saints. He kicks out wide. Goddard's made position. Just outside 50. Drills it in short. Gehrig over his head. Chance here for the Tigers. Gasper. Oh, dear. He had more time, a lot more time than he thought. And James Blake carried from the ground. And that's a real blow to Grant Thomas's early plans.
Looks like he caught one in the head, Paul.
He's going straight up the rooms, boys. He won't be spending any time on the bench. They're taking him straight into the rooms. It looks like he can't put any pressure at all on his right knee. But he was collected very, very heavily by Greg Stafford.
Chaffee's targets, Ottens and Coughlin, who almost tried to outmark his big ruckman. They control it anyway at ground level. Campbell feeding Tivendale. And his target on the bounce, Callaway, looking for teammates, searching backwards and a little sloppy, and haven't been great signs so far for the Tigers.
No.
Let's have a look at the injury, see if we can spot what happened to Jason Blake. And it was Stafford.
Oh, just a rotation of the hip by the look of that. Oh.
So Saints with the early goal and advantage. Noble, of course, on the ground to replace Blake, inserted into the ruck. And we'll have another ball up. So there's been plenty of stoppages so far.
So, Steve, clear that the early plan from Grant Thomas was to allow the run of Blake to really dominate around Stafford, but that's been put on the back burner, unfortunately, for him.
Certainly has.
Again, players all around the ball, forcing another ball up.
And it's Richmond have dropped the spare man back at the moment. St Kilda have more players around the ball, so they are favoured to take away this clearance.
Just trying to pick up Matthew Richardson where he is on the ground as well.
He's actually gone off the ground, Hutto, and he's gone up the race at the moment, headed towards the back of the chairs that the players sit on. So we don't quite know what's on. He's obviously getting some treatment out the back there, but we can't see at the moment.
So again, from the congestion, can something come clear? Brown with a handball. Again, the Tigers forced backwards. Bowden did well. Tiger fans would be pleased. Morrison the target across half forward. Numbers with the Saints, but Roden can win out and try and get them going. Perhaps over-possessing there, the Tigers. Eventually, Morrison misses with a handball. Has to follow up his own work. And it's the Saints able to come clear. Goddard and Pickett. And the run is there through ball through the middle. He's got Harvey out wide if he wants to use him. Rewald at centre half forward presents. Chaffee to cut it off. And he does that with expertise and wants to move it quickly through the middle. Here goes Fiora and now Johnson.
Johnson, long inside attacking 50. Loose player, Cracker. He can kick it from there, Andy Cracker. Thought about giving it off to Stafford. Instead goes back.
First time they've been inside their 50. Really need a shot on goal here, the Tigers.
Andrew Cracker kicked a couple of goals last week. In fact, was one of Richmond's better players. 15 touches, 5 marks. Will need to kick this from pretty much right on 50. Tigers yet to get off.
He doesn't look convincing that he wants to have the shot, does he?
Well, he's got the big fella up in the goal square.
He goes for the torpedo and bomb! He's kicked it! So Andrew Cracker, well, we said he was a little indecisive. He let go of the torpedo and it sailed through easily.
It was a good decision. The Tigers have struggled to penetrate at their goals. He needed to go back and have a shot. And that kick, the big spiral, went straight through the middle.
Clearly he wasn't confident, was he, with the drop punt, so he had the courage to go for the big one. Danny Frawley, happy to have a goal on the board. He'll have his concerns. Luke Ball's had 6 possessions. He's the #1 possession winner on the ground at this stage. Noble in the ruck and straight away having some impact. Finding a man at ground level. Umpire let it flow for a long time. Eventually puts the whistle to the lips.
Just watch the Richmond runner then run out to young Newman, who is playing on Luke Ball, who has already had 6 possessions for the game.
Noble down to Harvey. And in quickly for Rewald. He's so good at reacting to the drop of the ball out of the middle. See it time and time again here at Telstra Dome.
It's just so important as a defender to be in those stop plays, to play a metre in front, watch the ball. You don't need to worry about your opponent because more often than not, Steve, it's the quick kick coming out.
You've got to expect the unexpected in that type of situation.
Well, so much the centre of attention during the past week or so. Kicked 2 goals, 3 last week. Here he comes, Rewald. Very close. And not close enough, are behind for the Saints 1-2 and the Tigers 1 straight.
And really, the Richmond players should take note of that. You don't need a perfect kick inside your forward 50. You just need a quick one.
Tivendale kicks to himself and he's away. Delivers short. Stafford. Tigers trying to work it out of their defence. Stafford got a loose player inside the centre square and Newman ignores that. Kicks instead to the wing. Morrison the top. Maguire over the top. Well, there's some confidence there for you. Matt Maguire reaching over the top of Shane Morrison. Taking a comfortable mark in the end.
Yeah, he's a player that's taken.
Rewalt moves for him. Now he's got to beat about 3 here, Nick Rewalt, and propping in front Chaffee did very well just to protect the player in front, Bowder, and he marks it half back for the Tigers.
Just going back to Matt Maguire, he's a player that's taken 7 contested marks for St Kilda so far this season.
Tigers going a long way home. Callaway. A very long way home. And the signs, even though the score only shows 8 to St Kilda, 2 to the Tigers, signs not particularly good so far for Richmond.
They look a little bit rusty at the moment. Need to get the ball in long and quick to their forwards, the Tigers.
Stafford looking around for someone to hit it to. He found Campbell in the end. Saints had a lot more numbers around the ball. Richmond getting players back behind the footy at the moment. Black confronted with plenty of yellow and black jumpers, so he had to go sideways.
Oh.
Hayes is gone. He just got ball to boot. And now a chance for Coghlan to feed Johnson, but he fed him straight to the Lions. For the Saints, as it was. Richo on the boundary line warming up as we see the aggression shown there. Plenty of movement. Del Santo read that beautifully and escaped again. Black, oh, crunch. Well done by Cracker. Did that nicely without giving away the free. Made sure his presence was felt.
A couple of really good efforts there by a couple of the smaller type Richmond players. Roden was one, the tackler, and Cracker there just to hold the forward pressure in for the Tigers.
Richo getting some treatment on the bench. We'll get to Andrew Maher in a moment. Del Santo's handball misses the target, but they fight well at ground level, the Saints. Hayes, Noble, all involved. Pressure again on Tivendale, Roden. Well, look at all the numbers swarming around. It was the clean hands of Luke Ball in the end that breaks it open. Pickett, Baker, all Tigers across half-back. Chappie takes the mark to you, Andrew, as Richmond open it up through the middle.
Terrible news, Hutto. Right hamstring for Matthew Richardson. That's been heavily iced and taped now.
Bowden to centre half forward again. Imprecise kicking. Maguire wanted the footy. Did he get a freeze? Over it, he does pretty nicely in the end. Had eyes in the back of his head. And he finds Milne, and it opens up now for the Saints.
Kaczynski's got it at half forward. Chaffee, a loose player back inside defensive 50. Kicks to the lead of Gehrig. He drops a simple mark, this Fraser. And he'll be disappointed about that because the kick was absolutely perfect. But the Tigers getting back in numbers, forcing Gehrig to lead towards the boundary line. So as we look at Matthew Richardson, terrible news early for the Tigers. Stafford gets it down towards Bowden. Powell couldn't quite stand up. Now a chance for Zanta. Chaffee's been very good early. Kick out wide now. Kellaway's got to beat a couple here. Voss applies a very good tackle. Support provided by Rewalt. Now where does he go? Del Santo loose at half forward. Can he find a target inside attacking 50? Oh, he's got his pick of three. Great kick. It was indeed. And Kaczynski should go back and kick the goal.
He's just got so much time when he gets the ball, Mick Del Santo.
Been a lot of play in between the 50s, hasn't there? There hasn't been all that many entries for either team.
No,
6-1 to St Kilda.
Yeah, been a scrappy type game early.
Kaczynski from outside 50. Oh, it's a thumping kick. Has it got the accuracy? No. Missed everything. Hit the behind post. In fact, as we look at James Blake, who was in all sorts of trouble after clashing with Stafford, at least he's conscious and on the ground. So a free kick to the Tigers in the back pocket.
Oh, he goes across the face a little dangerously, and the Tigers again make a meal of it. Chaffee couldn't control the short pass.
With Richardson off the ground now, Brad Ottens has gone to full forward. I just wonder if Danny Frawley will shift Nathan Brown down that area as well.
It will be one to watch for at the moment in the midfield. Ball. Newman. Baker, free kick, and it's going to Newman. So the Tigers have been forced to switch play to come out of defence. They do it again.
Well, they haven't got a presenting half forward at the moment.
Nothing for Brown to go to. He kicked into nowhere land. No man's land, except big Fraser Gehrig, who can smell the goals. He certainly knows where they are. Fraser Gehrig. That's the Saints' second. They're 2-2-14.
And if you have a look on screen here, there was not one presenting half forward, Richmond half forward, and the kick was a poor one, and Fraser Gehrig made most of it.
Great play from Fraser Gehrig, his first of the afternoon.
Steve, we've seen so many shootouts, Hamill back on the ground, so many shootouts here at the Telstra, and the Tigers obviously trying to stop that, but it's not working for them.
Well, it's not, because they really haven't got a half-forward line at the moment. They are pushing numbers back, but they haven't got a forward target to kick to.
Soccer forward by Bowden. Cracker almost. Chance all. Voss was hit heavily by Cracker and will get the free kick. And Brett Voss looks to be in some trouble getting to his feet now. Gee, let's have a look at that again. Now, there's Brett Voss running back. His Cracker spilt the mark. Oh, that was crude.
Got to get lower than that.
So the free hand pass is taken by Jones to Penny, who he kicks to a contest. Coughlin almost. Hayes recovers best at ground level. Chance again for the captain. Shuffles it out. Numbers went out there for the Saints. Powell Hayes a third effort. Well played, Lenny Hayes. Kicks inside, attacking 50. Rewall at the back, got hands up, couldn't take the mark. Again, the numbers with the Tigers inside their defensive 50 as Gasper got it to Chaffey. Contest, well played, well done by Black. Back to ball. Chance for Hamill, where does he go? Twisting and turning, he goes back towards Goddard.
Can feel the anger building in the Richmond crowd as Powell fires away a goal. The Saints have got 3. You've got to give the credit to the Saints, but the Tigers, it must be so frustrating for their supporters.
Well, yes, they had numbers back there, but they didn't have the ball. They all held their ground. They had plenty of numbers back, and eventually St Kilda were able to find the right option, and Powell was the man.
Grant Thomas on the phone. The Saints lead by 14. They've had 52 possessions, the Saints, 43 for the Tigers, but the inside 50s is 8-1 in favour of St Kilda. And they're going forward again. Extra numbers across half-back. So the Tigers have been able to hold up a number of moves forward by St Kilda, but it's what do they do then? This is better. Bowden's got loose out on the wing. Ottens will be the target in long. It's the quickest movement they've had so far. Can they do something with it? Ottens over the top of it. Gave it to Cracker. Interesting handball. Roden. A goal, perhaps. Yes. Thank goodness for that. So the Tiger fans as Roden kicks a goal.
And it becomes a lot easier when you kick to your type target. That kick by Bowden was spot on. That's what they've got to do. They've got to get it in nice and quick. Brisbane do it with an Alistair Lynch. They get it in nice and quick. He brings the ball down the ground. Leave it up to your crummers.
And you had Cracker and also Roden involved in kicking that second goal, of course. Andy Cracker kicking the opening goal for the Tigers. Back in the centre, Ottens, Noble, decisive tap to Del Santo. Nick Del Santo can run to 50, steadies, long drop punt is offline. Gary can't get there. Gee, that was exciting stuff from Trent Noble. Deft touch out of the centre, and Nick Del Santo just couldn't quite finish off for the Saints.
Can play a bit, Nick Del Santo.
Brett Voss off the ground. Troy Swartz coming on for the Saints. He was a late inclusion. Clark out, a late withdrawal for the Saints, but repeating the news that Matthew Richardson is off the ground with a suspected hamstring injury, and you would think unlikely to reappear. Saints again building, and Powell's been prominent so far. His sixth possession set up perfectly for Fraser Gehrig. And the Saints to respond quickly here.
It was a great kick by Powell. He saw that Gehrig had his opponent on that occasion was Tivendale, was at least 4 or 5 metres in front. It was a beautiful kick.
So Gehrig to drive through his second goal of the afternoon, and the Saints fourth. (4-3) to 2 straight.
Well, it's a domination, really. St Kilda, plenty of numbers around the ball, but with Fraser Gehrig up forward, they get it in nice and quickly. And they've had all the play in this first quarter.
And Trent Noble, the decisive handball, setting Stephen Powell away, and has been impressive since coming on, Noble. So the margin back to 15 points in favour of the Saints. Noble to do battle again, this time with Ottens. Noble again gets it down. Del Santo fighting hard at ground level, but we get a secondary bounce. Del Santo has been good early. Luke Ball, the leading possession winner, on the ground with 8. The best for the Tigers is Bowden with 7. This time Ottens, Cracker, scrambles the kick forward. Bowden clever. Mark Pay.
Just needs to pump it in right now.
He does. He kicks inside, attacking 50 on the lead of Morrison marks. Well, Joel Bowden was the one that kicked it inside, attacking 50 for Richmond's last goal, kicked by Roden. And he's responsible again. The kick this time was perfect in front of Morrison. slight stumble there, but he was managed to grasp it on the second attempt.
He's got a big afternoon ahead of him now with Richo off, hasn't he, Morrison?
Huge responsibility. Morrison kicked the goal last week, comes in and kicks one this afternoon for the Tigers. So despite the dominance of the Saints in the midfield, Richmond are hanging in there and they trail by just 9 points.
Yeah, well, they've only been inside their 50 on 4 occasions and they've kicked 3 goals.
The latest in the adventures of Matthew Richardson, sitting on the bench, but he'd be much more pleased with the recent couple of minutes from the Tigers. They've been trying to get it in quickly at least. It's produced a couple of goals. Saints on the counter-attack though. Aussie Jones, nothing to stop him. Fiora reading it beautifully. Another Richmond player's gone down here. Hamill being reported, I believe.
Yeah, it was off the ball and the umpire was right on the scene.
Newman, I think
Zantuck was the player that was the victim.
He got up quickly, didn't he, once the umpire put the notebook out of the book.
It was Zantuck, so a Richmond free kick and out of 50 metres. Well,
it's a fair way away from the actual ball at the time.
And Zantuck, of course, with the job on Hamill this afternoon.
Well, St Kilda have got all their numbers back now.
They have. Look at that, confronting Zantuck. A couple of hesitant steps and then goes as long as he can to the biggest man, Stafford, but Noble was equal to the height and size and task. Altons did wonderfully well to suddenly have the ball just on the 50. Back for Brown, who's been noticeable by how relatively quiet he's been. Again, tough for the Tiger forwards. Kazitsky with the decisive punch. Johnson got it through to Cracker. He's been one of the Tigers. Suddenly they're right in it. High fives galore for the Tiger fans at the Telstra Dome. And Andrew Cracker kicks his second.
Fantastic footy by the Tigers. You saw Stafford make a contest, bring it to ground. Gasper was the other one. They held the ball, worked hard inside their forward 50. And Cracker, well, he did the most brilliant thing of the game today.
Interesting handball there coming from Johnson. The inside-out handball, effective. Cracker has 2.
Gee, they've been efficient, haven't they, out forward, the Tigers? 4 times inside 50, 4 goals.
And that goal coming after Aaron Hamill was reported. Noble again getting first hand on the football to Thompson. He's tied up and eventually umpire Allen calls for it. As we look at the Richmond interchange bench, and that's interesting, Coughlin and Campbell. On the bench, Del Santo, an unlikely hit-out winner. Brown feeds it back towards Johnson. Oh, he's brilliantly tackled. Chance now for the Saints. Black, Thompson, long inside attacking 50. Kazitsky was held. Derrick at the back. Chance for the Crummers. Chappie was first there. Well played. Bowden loose again for the Tigers.
They've lifted Richmond in the last 10 or so minutes. Up the tempo and certainly on the scoreboard they've got right back in it. Johnson's been one of the reasons. His 7th possession is a good one to the middle. Altons, they've got players streaming forward. Chaffee is the target. Goddard won't be able to stop him. Chaffee on his left foot to put the Tigers in front.
He worked hard there, Chappie.
And goes short. They had loose men all over the place. And Fiora, Milne was the nearest man to him, but not near enough, as Fiora now also on his left side can try and kick Richmond's 5th straight goal.
Well, Fiora's playing in the back pocket and Chaffee's playing at half back.
And Chappie virtually set up that play from the other end.
So Aaron Fiora had 19 possessions against the Saints last year when they played the second time around. But more importantly, he's got a sure foot and he puts it through. And the Tigers are in front of the Telstra Dome.
Quite incredible, really, the way they played in the first 10 minutes of this first quarter. They were going nowhere, but Danny Frawley has made some significant changes in the midfield. He's tied up Luke Ball and also Lenny Hayes, and he's got Coughlin and also Campbell on the bench.
The Tigers playing their best football with their captain and best and fairest winner not on the ground. So back in the centre, Ottens will do battle again with Noble. Noble's doing very well. He had first hand there as well. Ball going nowhere. So a secondary bounce.
And the 3 on ballers for the Tigers are Johnson, Cracker and Brown.
Very open Richmond forward line. Ottens this time. Black can't control it. Johnson couldn't quite get the effective handball clear. And it's tying up again.
Don't want to dwell on it too much, Steve, but it is amazing to see 5 inside 50s and 5 goals for Richmond.
Yeah, well, their directness has come to the fore now. They struggled to get the ball inside their 50 nice and quickly, but when they do, they've got the forwards to at least make the contest up there, particularly with Stafford at full forward.
They've kicked the last 3 goals of the game, the Tigers, as we count down to quarter time. Margin got out to 15 points. They've reeled it in. Thompson, can he get clear? Great tackle from Newman. He ties it up again. Umpire letting it go, but not for long.
And this is where they're starting to win a bit of the ball, the Tigers, at these stoppages. St Kilda were dominant early in this first quarter.
There's a look at the number of players around this bounce. Ottens decisively. Baker runs straight into Newman, who puts another tackle on. Chris Newman.
Aaron Hamill is now up the ground.
Ottens tried to take it out there. Now a chance for Tivendale as he carried forward. Voss did very well not to get into his back.
Just getting back to Aaron Hamill. Only had the 1 possession. Started at full forward. Has pushed himself up the ground.
Now we've got a blood rule here against, looks like Brett Voss, who must have just copped a knock as he was putting the tackle on Tivendale a few moments ago. You can just see his mouth guard there with a bit of blood. Taking plenty of time to come from the ground.
Lenny Hayes sitting on the bench for the Saints also.
Oh, the left hand there of Tivendale, accidental by the look of it. So Brett Voss been in the wars in this first quarter. Copped a heavy knock earlier on from Andrew Cracker.
Richmond only had 2 players in their forward half of the ground.
Tim Fleming and Andrew Thompson getting involved. And Baker coming in. Fleming putting his hands up. I didn't do anything.
Surprising to see Tim Fleming in the thick of it, isn't it?
Well, I used to play with Tim Fleming and has got a bit of a temper, but a great competitor.
So, an intriguing opening quarter, Steve, at the end of it to find the Tigers in front.
Yeah, quite incredible. St Kilda were terrific early. They were great around the stoppages, got the ball in nice and quickly. Luke Ball was outstanding, particularly early. But full credit to the Tigers. They got their composure back and started to use the ball and get it into their tall forward targets.
Plenty happening in the opening quarter. Hamill reported, Richardson off injured. The Tigers coming from behind to take a 3-point lead. This Easter Monday match at the Telstra Dome on Network 10, part of your coverage of football through the season. It's going to be a fantastic year ahead and a seriously good year here on 10.
But Danny Frawley would be delighted addressing his players at quarter time.
An encouraging tap for Matthew Richardson on the backside, of course, repeating the news. He has a hamstring problem and we won't see him reappear. Let's get down for more information on the injuries from Andrew Marr, who's boundary side this afternoon.
Yeah, Hutto, Jason Blake looks absolutely crook on the bench. He's got his boots off and can hardly straighten himself up. Looks like he's got some kidney damage to his lower left kidney. He's in real strife, so he won't be back. And just confirming, Matthew Richardson's hamstring is on ice and he won't be back for the rest of the game.
So the second quarter about to start. The Tigers going with their forward line of two big men and Cracker and Roden, and so far it's been effective when they've got the ball down there. Ottens with the palming work, but read by Harvey, who gets them to centre half forward. Milne where he should be at the front of the contest. Possibly a high tackle on Chappie. Umpire said play on. And again, some pretty vigorous attack on the footy and numbers around the ball. The umpires have let it go in there.
It took a while to blow the whistle there, the umpires, but a couple of really good effort by some Tiger defenders down there. Gasper, Zantuck and Fiora have kept their opponents very quiet. Rewell with just the 2 possessions, Hamill with 1 and Milne with 1 in that first quarter.
Again, Ottens with the tap straight to Harvey. And Powell suddenly got through and might have kicked a very long goal. He's got 2. And the Saints scoring within the opening minute of the second quarter to regain the lead.
And I reckon this is where their real strength is now, St Kilda. It's around the stoppages. Guys like Harvey, Hayes, Powell, you've got Del Santo and also Ball. They're starting to rival the Brisbane Lions in that area.
It was a nice little give by Robert Harvey, wasn't it? Saints back in front. Easter Monday at the Telstra Dome. Noble and Ottens go at it. At ground level, no one can break clear. So another bounce, and we've seen a fair bit of that.
Just makes me wonder about the rucks again, Steve, whether or not they'd be better off to go with the Brisbane tactic. They're winning the hit-outs, I think, 20-14. The clearances, the Saints narrowly ahead. Wouldn't they just be better just to smash it forward and gain some ground?
Well, that's an option and something that Danny Frawley would be looking at half-time.
Baker, Hayes, high to half forward. Contest. Oh, almost a great mark taken by Hamill. Peckett did very well, couldn't quite get it clear. Johnson ducked ahead and was lucky to get the free kick. Johnson, possession number 8, loose player out wide to Bowden. He's coming in for his 10th possession. Sweeping handball to accommodate Brown. Nathan Brown uses the football very well, though it's an ordinary kick this time. Stafford in from the side, couldn't take it. Ball, very good in the opening quarter. Luke Ball, players loose. Powell, handball to Goddard. Now he's got a couple of options here, Goddard, and he took too long. Now handball searching back towards Powell. They've got the numbers, the Saints, so they should get out of trouble here. Oh, they don't. Brilliant smother coming from Newman. Turnover. Campbell kicking forward. Good mark taken by Andy Kellaway.
Great pressure by the Tigers. Newman, Roden.
They were outnumbered on the wing, but they were able to affect the turnover. Kellaway inside attacking 50. Almost the mark to Maguire. Coghlan did very well. Brown tackled and ditched into the turf. So we'll get a bounce. As we watch it again, Powell here and the smother from Newman. He was all over that. Chance for the Tigers deep in their attacking zone. Noble, Nathan Brown searching back with the handball. Campbell kicks it to the top of the goal square. Stafford made a contest. Well done. The Saints don't have the numbers. Penny to Harvey. And he finds Black.
Great kick under pressure, Robert Harvey.
Such surety with their skills. Ball, this time to a one-on-one, but the man he was going for, Hamill, getting the hoots after being booked in the opening quarter. Uses Ball again, the number 1 possession winner on the ground, and he uses them so well. His 11th possession to Rewald, and now Gehrig judged it beautifully in the pocket, has a look across the shoulder, and then fires right for his third. Saints extend their lead to 9.
Well, 2 crucial errors here. One was from Gasper, who lost Rewald, just set off Rewald, and here Ray Hall, well, just can't afford to allow the ball to get behind you.
It was a great effort though by Ball, because he held onto the football and almost kicked it with the outside of his boot to get to Rewald. Fantastic skills. So the Saints with the opening 2 goals of the second term back in front. Noble doing well. This time Coughlin pushed off the ball by Powell. Now there's a free kick coming back to Ottens. Brad Ottens and Stafford sharing the ruck work. Kick towards half-forward. Morrison in front. She was left unattended there by Maguire. Point of the square, right half-forward. Perhaps just too far out to score. Kick inside, loose player, Bowden. Well, Joel Bowden has been by himself for the bulk of this game. He's collected 7 marks and coming in for possession number 11.
He is. He's playing a terrific game, but great work by Stafford and Bowden on that occasion. They worked for each other, and Stafford just stepped in front of Bowden's opponent's line, and he was able to find the space.
Joel Bowden took 9 marks and had 25 possessions in Richmond's poor performance last week against Melbourne. And looking for his first goal of the season from 45 metres. The goal umpire doesn't move. Richmond get one back. So the Tigers gave up their quarter-time lead, but they get their opening goal of the second term and draw to within 3 points of the Saints.
Yeah, and the reward for working for each other, and that's one thing that's been evident, particularly after the first 10 minutes of the first quarter. Richmond are certainly working for each other.
Joel Bowden seems a very determined man this afternoon. You can see him at the bottom of the screen next to Robert Harvey after kicking that last goal. Johnson through the traffic. Powell, who's had plenty of it. His 11th possession takes the Saints somewhat haphazardly forward to half-forward. Fiora to take it away to Campbell, who's starting to find it now.
Gee, that was about 8 metres, I reckon, that kick.
Picks out Johnson on the wing. Tigers trailing by 3. Scrappy kick. Found Fiora somehow. Harvey, Pickett. A couple of the old Saints collaborating now through the middle. Milne. Oh, he got himself into trouble. If anyone can get out, it's Stephen Milne. Oh, just rode the bump there. Ball.
He did the right thing, exactly. He knew he was going to be tackled, and he knew the umpire would deem it that he wouldn't have prior opportunity. As we watch Milne again, just needed to get the handball off the first option. It was Del Santo, just kept the ball to himself and forced the ball up.
Ottens to Tivendale. Milne to ground in the back. Ball it was, laying it off. Hamill gets them inside 50, Rewald in front. Gasper harassing. Black, Thompson off the left. Good looking kick off the boot. It is good enough. So Andrew Thompson, whose renaissance in the last couple of weeks has been great to see.
Great effort by Nick Rewald. He just watch him just tap it out. Was never out of the contest. Just forced the ball in favour of one of his teammates, and Thompson was able to do the rest.
Gee, a great kick-off, non-dominant side. Andrew Thompson, that's one for his highlight reel. Back in the centre, Saints reasserting their authority. Ottens this time, sharp bite, Harvey. Hayes somehow got it to Black. Uses Baker. St Kilda building. Inside or a wobbly kick inside, attacking 50. Set Rewald a task. Hamill is hard. Well done, Zantuck. He ties it up, and we'll get a bounce 35 metres from the St Kilda goal. Aaron Hamill picking himself up. 9 points the advantage. Rewald decisively. Thompson. He's got Black now, who on his left side. Instead, he handballs to Harvey. Robert Harvey from 50. Long goalward. Contest in the goal square. Oh, well done by Callaway. They're outnumbered, the Saints, right on the goal line, and Kellaway did well just to knock it over the back and for a rush behind. Margin 8 points, in effect 10 points in favour of the Saints.
Tivendale goes very short. Hall got Bowden out along the boundary line. Teammates wanting to go a little straighter. Brown and now Fiora. Through the middle, he's got Kane Johnson, who's got some space to work in here. Tigers build up, not bad, although Johnson around in ever diminishing circles. Suddenly they're going nowhere fast. Brown, Tivendale, mistake. Baker, Powell, Milne on his own. Will he play on? He does. Into automatic pilot, loves to snap, and made a bit of a meal of it. Margin out to 11.
Well, you take it back to Kane Johnson, who looked as though he was going to get the ball on quickly. He looked up, there was nothing on. It forced him to hold on to the ball, and that's when everything fell apart for the Tigers.
But that's when you just, Steve, got to kick to a contest and hope that your players are getting back to the fall.
He actually looked up the ground, Michael. There was nothing there.
Well, beg to differ because Morrison was moving for him.
Ooh.
Bowden's got it.
It's a fair kick, 100 metres.
The friction here.
Well, at least kick it towards him instead of handballing it backwards. Baker worked to the front in front of Brown. Did it brilliantly. Now Black. He's got players inside. He's got 4 of them, in fact, and he chooses Rewalt. Milne out wide. Handball comes to Del Santo. Back to Rewalt. Now the Saints fiddling a little. Kick out wide, Milne. He wants to get around Fiora. Out finessed himself almost. Kicks towards centre half forward. Sets Thompson a task. Couldn't take it. Richmond with the numbers. Free kick there. No. Johnson finds Bowden, who kept his composure. Handball to Zanta. And now Chaffee. It's an out wide. Mark taken by Hartigan.
It's Noble. He's all right. He's up.
Short to Cracker. Andrew Cracker's kicked a couple of goals. Squares it up to his captain, Campbell. Now, Campbell's in trouble. No, now the umpire's blowing the whistle. Now, what? I don't know what the umpire's saying here.
I don't think the players understand it.
Well, gee, that was bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. And Nick Del Santo is speaking in earnest with the umpire. He couldn't understand what was going on either. Campbell inside attacking 50. Schwartz going back. Gasper. Now a chance for ball. Now Jones has got to go here. He does. It's a great kick from Luke Ball. He is an absolute talent, Luke Ball. He's had 13 possessions this afternoon.
Sorry, Chris. So Stephen Milne taken from the ground. Penny through the middle, spots Maguire. He's got Black running for him 30 metres further afield. Wants a longer option. Goes wider in the end. Good kick, and the mark taken by Brett Voss, who goes to Hamill. Little nudge from Zantac. Got Campbell in support. Helped him clear the path. Brown can switch it. Cracker leads for him across half-back. Tigers forced wide, but OK, they've got numbers further afield. He waited perhaps a little long. Oh, he just got away there, Ray Hall.
Got nothing on ahead.
Gasper.
We'll need to wait till Stafford gets back.
Hartigan goes to centre half forward. Oh, good kick too. Stafford made the lead. And the young man Hartigan impressing everyone with his foot skills so far. On the overlap, Callaway was the target, but Brett Voss, whose stature just grows and grows. The margin is 11 points.
Brilliantly read by Voss. Kick short to Baker. Still inside defensive 50. That's what confronts Stephen Baker.
With Milne off the ground, Kazitsky has gone forward. Fiora is picking up Kazitsky.
Another possession for ball. He chips it to Thompson. Overlap provided by Hayes. The Saints away again. Long inside. Attacking 50. Gary. Well, it wasn't quite inside attacking 50. Fraser Gary plays on. He runs to 45. Gary kicks another one. Inspiring stuff from Fraser Gary. The intention all the time was to play on as we watch it again. Too strong for Hall.
Well, he's a power forward, isn't he? And that was the question mark at the start of the game. Who was going to be able to contain Fraser Gehrig?
Well, he's kicked 4 now, Gehrig, and he's been a star.
And the change has been made. Kellaway looks like he's picking up Gehrig.
Hayes gives to Noble. And this St Kilda lead is building. Gehrig's got away again.
Hall still on Gehrig.
Over the top for Powell, who, with so many St Kilda players to cover, can get away relatively untagged. And he's enjoyed it today. He's coming in for his 13th possession. Rewald, Black with the chance. Harvey, if there's space to be found, Robert Harvey will find it, and extraordinarily, he's managed to find the middle as well. The Saints have just eased into gear here at the Telstra Dome, and suddenly they've put some space between themselves on the scoreboard and the Tigers. 9-5 to 6 straight. And the master puts through a wonderful goal.
Yes, great goal, Robert Harvey. I think the Richmond defenders would be kicking themselves, not forcing that ball through for a behind.
14 scoring shots to 6. I think underlines the dominance of St Kilda this afternoon. This time Stafford decisively to Brown. Voss, who's been fantastic, try to make a path for Jones. Voss, Maguire, look out. He gets the kick away just in time. Well done by Coughlin, but Hayes is there for the Saints. Harvey uses Schwartz, who's got a bit of toe, gets away from Newman. Kick inside attacking 50. Otten's getting back. And where does he go? Zantuck uses Fiora. And Kellaway short. Tigers trying to work their way out of defence. The kick is perfect to Hartigan, who tramples through the Richmond interchange bench. He's got it on the wing. Gets a good shepherd from Newman, and Harvey wasn't expecting it. Oh, gee, now that is a disappointing decision in my view, because it was Steve, I don't know whether you saw it, but that just looked like a classic shepherd. Well, let's watch it again.
Was it within 5 metres? That is the question mark.
Well,
that's
yes.
Within 5.
Gee, that's a poor umpiring decision by umpire Allen.
Gasper is picking up Gehrig now. Hall has gone to Rewald.
Jones on his wrong side, but he's pretty good off the left. Rewald surrounded by Tigers. And numbers should prevail here, although Johnson now finds plenty of Saints to contend with. One of them, Goddard, off the left, bullet-like pass on the bounce for Rewald. Again, the Tigers able to prevail. And they might be able to get themselves out of trouble. Oh, Tivendale lost it. Black pounces. Another one coming up for the Saints. No, it hit the post.
Gee, they're an exciting unit, St Kilda. They've built some amazing momentum through the course of the Wizard Cup. The opening 2 rounds of the season, and they've carried it into this round 3 fixture with the Tigers. Chaffee. Now, Odds has got to beat a couple. He's got to beat 3, in fact. Thompson, is he held? No. Chance for Kazitsky. Hard up against the line. Concedes ground to Packett. Packett now has got loose players outside 50. Decides to look for Goddard. Almost. Got hands to it. Cracker. Almost threw it out to Coughlin. Tivendale, Gasper.
They need to run it up.
They share it well, the Tigers, in their defensive zone. Brown. Penetrating kick looking for Morrison at the back. Oh, gee, it's all St Kilda. 3-on-1 here.
And that's been the problem with Richmond in this quarter. They've got so many numbers down back that they've lost their structure up in their forward half.
Noble. Oh, gee, took his time. It was indecisive, didn't know what to do. Chance here on the rebound for the Tigers. Fleming can go and kick a goal. And he hits the Can't afford to miss those opportunities at this level.
Aussie Jones. It was the Tigers' first blemish, but what a costly one for them. Not an ideal time to miss, if there is ever one. They get another chance here, although Brown, also confronted only by yellow and black jumpers, has to kick and hope, and boy, did he tailor that kick beautifully. He really did that wonderfully well, because when he first looked up, all he could see was St Kilda defenders. He just spotted Kane Johnson at the last moment and was able to adjust the kick.
Spot on there, Hutto. There was absolutely no one up forward there for Richmond, and Brown had the presence of mind just to hold the ball up and waited for a target to run inside that forward 50 for Richmond.
So Johnson, who's had 13 possessions today to follow up 30-plus efforts in rounds 1 and 2, needs to convert. He too misses. So a couple of very costly posters at this latest stage in the second quarter.
That's 3 in a row. 1 to St Kilda and 2 to Richmond, the last 3 scoring shots. Jones, wonderful kick to Kosicki. Back to Jones, trying to set something up. Peckett breaks for him. He goes beyond him, looking for Hamill's got to beat a couple. Morrison got back, fists it forward. All Tigers at the fall. Bowden just slams it on the boot. Luckily ends in the lap of Hall.
And this has been their problem. They haven't got a target up forward.
Out wide, Hardigan comes back inside Jones with a bounce. Runs to 55. Wobbly old kick was poor. Maguire, gee, St Kilda have got 3 on 1 here. Goddard just chips around the corner cleverly. Baker. Rewalt's got some space back on Kellaway. He sets it up. And Rewalt more and some treatment. Well, that should be 50 metres. Oh, dear. Yes, it is. I thought for a moment it wasn't going to be paid, but he took the mark clearly, and then that treatment warranted 50 metres. So a chance here for Rewalt. Andy Kellaway trudges back to the mark.
It was well held in the first quarter by Darren Gasper. Nick Rewalt, but the change has been forced. Gasper has gone to Garrick, and Rewalt starting to find a fair bit of the ball now.
Well, a couple of opportunities missed by Richmond at the other end, and Rewalt comes in, it's swinging back, he's checked it. Margin out to the biggest of the match, the Saints now by 28 points.
Well, it hurts, doesn't it? 2 opportunities that they really should have kicked Richmond. Ball quickly goes up the other end, and Rewalt converts.
Six goals to 1 in this second term in favour of the Saints after they trail by 3 points at quarter time.
Tigers have only managed 1 goal in this second quarter. They have to hang tough here. Saints have kicked 6. Harvey over the top of it. Again, the umpire letting it go. Bowden got away, but Maguire and Jones battling it between them for the Saints to find out who's going to win the footy. Now they combine to bring it out of defence. And Maguire's a big man. He says, watch out, I'm coming through. And he drives it along. I think he was so excited by his little run and the collateral damage that he just blasted away.
But it's great aggressive football. Fiora was there to tackle him. He took him on.
Alton's kicks back to a contest across half-back. Del Santo and now Powell there to swoop for the Saints. Off the right foot to fall forward. Garrett's gaining, he's gaining, but Alton's too tall and good positioning.
Well, Luke Penny is the free man up the other end for the Saints, does not have an opponent.
Morrison to take it here on the wing. Now, how will he use it? Cracker the only target, so he holds it up. Johnson needs to be pinpoint here to Roden, and he was. As Steve said, Penny pushing back. Bowden has to kick it 80 metres if he's going to have a shot. Cool heads prevailing. And now Nathan Brown, if ever he needed the slot one, this is it for the Tigers.
Well, they've missed the last two. Both have been posters, but I think this is where, if they continue to play this game plan, they're going to have most of their shots from this range.
Nathan Brown, who's kicked 56 and 57 goals in his last 2 seasons, of course, with the Western Bulldogs. Hasn't got a great track record in terms of goal kicking against St Kilda. Played them 10 times in all his career and has only managed 6 goals. Hasn't scored so far this afternoon. It was wobbly, it was low, but it was straight, and it gets the job done. Tigers' second of this second quarter cuts the margin back to 22.
Yes, and the Tigers are a little lucky to get away with that. At the other end, Otten's a short kick to a contest, which is well, something you should never do. But the Tigers were able to work it forward. Good play by Roden and also Bowden just to keep his composure and find Nathan Brown on the lead. Margin back to 22 points. Ottens, this time against Koziski. Ottens gets it down, fighting hard at ground level. Hyde in from the side. It's Hayes, and we'll get another bounce.
Luke Ball a little quieter in the last 10 or 15 minutes, but he's still leading possession winner for the Saints with 14, sharing that honour with Powell. For the Tigers, it's Bowden and Brown with 16 and Johnson with 15.
Baker squeezes it out only as far as Cracker. Campbell, that's a throw. He just lost the hand on the original handball, and that was what was penalised.
And that's where a quick kick would have been sufficient.
Voss out wide to Hayes. Lenny Hayes coming in for possession number 11. Decides to go back and across. Maguire, the loose player at half-back on the City side of the dome. Del Santo confronted by Morrison. He plays on, kicks it short. Koziski. Numbers with the Saints. Loads up, long towards centre-half forward. Rewald in from the side, but gee, it's all Tigers. The kick was ill-directed, and Fiora marks for the Tigers.
Out wide, and he finds Hyde, who kicks off the left boot onto the wing. Stafford wide for Brown again, and he just goes. And then he goes again and delivers. Oh, close call, but the siren definitely went first. Heartbreaking for Tiger fans and for Andrew Cracker. But the score will stand. St Kilda lead by 22 points at half-time. The Tigers led by 3 at the first change. Wayne Campbell not happy. And making sure the umpires know. But at the main break, it's the Saints leading by 22. Saints a tight group, and that's to be expected. They lead by 22. We're just about ready for the second half to get it away from Telstra Dome. And before we ponder what might be ahead, let's get some more of an injury update from Andrew Marr.
Yeah, Hutto, Jason Blake has been taken to hospital. His back's been spasming really badly down here. They know that it's extremely badly bruised. They don't know the extent of the internal damage at this stage. That's why they've taken him there right now to get it checked immediately.
Thanks, Andrew. The Tigers also breaking and getting ready to go into position. Is there anything that the Tigers can do, do you think, boys, that might get them back in this match?
Well, yes, I think they've got to start at least getting an opponent and making it a one-on-one contest. It's what they did halfway through that first quarter, and at least they made it, the St Kilda on ballers a bit responsible, and they got the ball in nice and quickly to their forward line, and they've got to get back to that.
It's been made difficult, Hutto, with the fact that Matthew Richardson in the first few minutes left the ground with a hamstring injury. It really meant that they had to readjust their whole forward setup, and it's been difficult for them. Wayne Campbell in picture has been relatively quiet, just for 7 possessions for the first half.
Coghlan also just 5, so 2 of their prime movers a little quiet. Second half underway from the Telstra Dome, and straight away Coghlan gets a touch. Acrobatics done by Hall, but the footy played by Penny. Gets it to Rewald.
Big job for Fiora, who's gone to Rewald.
And they just push forward. so well. Ball with confidence. Gehrig leads to him. He goes longer into the square. Hamill's got away. Oh, he fumbled the mark. You would have sworn he was going to take that comfortably, Aaron Hamill.
Well, he's done a good job. Ty Zantuck on Aaron Hamill. Hasn't kicked the goal so far this game.
Nathan Brown at full forward, his opponent Nick Del Santo. I wonder whether Grant Thomas will persist with that matchup. Del Santo has been very good in the midfield. Chaffee from fullback for the Tigers. Otten's the target. Ball to the back. Campbell was lurking. Did well the handball, they missed the mark. Bowden fighting hard. Good pressure coming from Goddard, and he forces a boundary throw in. Bowden 16 possessions in the opening half with 8 marks and a goal. Nathan Brown, the leading possession winner, played mostly in the midfield with 17 in the opening half. Ottens decisively down to Coughlin, who somehow got it forward. Jones playing in front of Tivendale. Jones sit out in front of Kosicki. Run provided by Maguire. He's had one bounce. He's got options everywhere. Kicks towards the leader, Rewalt.
And a great little block by Kosicki. He took the grab, was able to give it over to, I believe it was Maguire, who kicked the ball to Rewalt, and all caused by the Kosicki block.
So Nick Rewalt comes in from 45 and kicks it across the face. So an opportunity missed there by Rewalt. 1 goal, 2 for the star centre-half forward.
Starting to get plenty of the ball now. Gasper did a terrific job on him in that first quarter.
Chaffee goes short and comfortably to Johnson. His 16th possession. Finds Coughlin, who started much better in this second half than he did the first. Campbell also getting a few touches. Coming in for his 3rd in the opening 3 minutes, but nowhere to go.
Well, this is when they fall down, when they get tied up with the ball.
Eventually Stafford arrived on the scene, couldn't mark it, but caused the contest. Tivendale blasting the kick. Morrison presenting, able to fend Voss away. Cracker. Great kick. And Callaway to line up.
There was a great kick by Cracker. Callaway was able to find the space, but this kick here...
It was a great pickup by Morrison too, Steve, on the half volley.
It was.
Gee, great skills from Andrew Cracker. Callaway must kick goal.
Must kick goal. Mr. Callaway doesn't kick goal, or does he? Oh.
It's his 3rd poster for the game, the Tigers.
It was coming back. It wasn't a great looking kick, but margin now 23.
Stephen Powell, possession number 15 for him. Chip short to Harvey, handball. Intercepted by Stafford, but Harvey goes back in and gets it. Powell again, along the ground a ball, who stops, takes a step, delivers only as far as Bowden. Target was Kosicki. Bowden long and direct towards centre-half forward. Stafford marks. This is better from Richmond. Wants to get on with it. Underground kick towards Brown. He's clever though. Handball out wide to Johnson, who can balance up. Chip in short. Tivendale. Good play from Bowden. He marked it half back. Didn't waste any time. Just got it direct and long to centre-half forward. And Stafford, although the kick was poor, the Tigers were still able to manufacture something, and Tivendale now with an opportunity.
And we just saw Nathan Brown in that passage of play there. Looks like he's been moved to the forward line.
From 35 metres, as good as directly in front. Couple of steps. What's he done with it? Well, they've had some opportunities, Richmond, to eat into this St Kilda lead, but they're not taking them.
That's 4 definite chances, haven't they? 2 before half-time and 2 since. Saints too have been inaccurate on occasions. Ball makes the lead in close, but he goes longer. Goddard slipped, and Noble was behind Stafford all the way, but Powell continues to win the ball, releasing Hayes with purpose, gives to Goddard, wanted to give it back. Now he accelerates away. Rewald the target again. At the back of the pack, helping out back there, Hartigan, clearing the path for Callaway, who, well, he didn't really follow anyone. He didn't feel umpire Allen.
Yeah, I tend to agree with the umpire there. Certainly could have done a lot better with that.
Well, Nick Rewald, some of his set shots for goal, certainly not the best part of his game. He missed one just before. You can see the angle here. Uneventful as it turned out. Ottens takes the mark. He spotted Morrison at centre-half back, but that would have been flirting with danger. Instead, he's forced to go very short. Hartigan will try and spot up someone. Hall presents at centre-half back. Got Campbell floating past, gives to him.
He's only got Brown up forward.
So he couldn't blast away. Callaway likewise.
Well, 3 on the 1 up forward.
Bowden had to chip, and he did that to perfection. Brown is within range, even though he doesn't look overly confident. Del Santo's still his opponent, and if he does create some havoc, it'll be interesting to see, as you mentioned, Michael, whether or not Grant Thomas makes a move there.
Good play from Brown. He made 3 or 4 leads.
Umpire now tells him he's got to go. Well,
it's got to be 50.
That's either 50. It's got to be either 50 or play on. Brown says, I'm going to try and kick it anyway, but right on the line was Noble.
I can't believe that a player's lining up for a goal and a player comes in and puts pressure on it, goes within the 5-metre range. It's got to be a 50-metre penalty.
Well, the umpire had told Brown to have his kick, but he hadn't actually said it was play on, so that is a grey area in the rules.
Because Del Santo also just moved off the mark when he said that. Jones kicks into Voss. Sweeping handball. Del Santo's got the job on Brown. Now Bowden just backtracks, doesn't go to him, so he handballs over the top to Harvey. Now a chance for the Saints. Short kick is dangerous. Too much carry for ball, and the Tigers are able to hold it up at centre-half back. I wonder whether the short kick there was the option. Kicking short to a man that's not clear is bad play. So a bounce at centre-half forward for the Saints. And Richmond, just in the last few minutes, looked pretty good. Powell, Harvey with pace, short, beautifully done to Milne. Now Milne should go back and have a shot here. We see him time and time again play on. He did it a couple of times in the first half.
Hasn't kicked the goal for the game.
Slipped over, and on the second occasion missed with his snap.
Great ball usage by Robert Harvey.
Stephen Milne kicked 4 goals to date for the season. It was in the opening round. Kicked 1 last week. Drop punt is another poster. So that's 3 to Richmond and 2 to St Kilda.
Campbell, his 5th touch of the quarter, bringing Callaway into the game. And again, this labour-intensive Tiger defence. Wobbly but effective into the middle from Cracker to Johnson. Saints pushing numbers back as we speak.
Well, St Kilda have got their numbers back there. Far too slow, Kane Johnson.
Good lead from Hall. He too can't kick it quickly because the Saints have got extra blokes right back deep in front of both Stafford and Brown. So he's forced to go short to Morrison. Ottens is back in the square as well. Now it's 2-on-2 very deep, so he better kick it there now while it is.
This is where the Richmond forwards need to work for each other. At least try and get a block on it and get one of your fellow teammates free.
Hartigan might smell a chance to have a shot. Instead, he sort of half in, half out. And the ball over the line and out of bounds.
Now, Steve, why wouldn't you kick it? You've got Ottens and Stafford, a height advantage in the goal square. Why wouldn't you just kick it long and give them an opportunity to outmark their opponents?
Yes, well, I'm asking myself that same question.
Stafford trying to get it towards Cracker. Harvey across his defensive goal face, uses Hayes. Good shepherd by Del Sando. Brilliant shepherd.
And hurt him too.
Allows Hayes to run clear. The run also by Harvey. Great kick in front of Black. Tigers can't afford St Kilda to score here. Goddard confronted by Chaffee, so he handballs back to Hayes. Geary. Gasper made late ground but couldn't chop it off. And Fraser, there's a thumping kick of the football, and go back and kick for goal from 50 metres.
And that's the difference in style of play. St Kilda ran that ball nice and hard. They were prepared to carry the ball. They didn't go inwards and outwards. They went direct, and it enabled Gehrig to find the space, and plenty of space there to run onto the ball.
Fraser Gehrig kicked 3 goals for last week, 7 goals in the opening round. Chance to kick his 5th this afternoon from just outside 50. It's close. Just missed. 4 goals won for Fraser Gehrig. Haven't seen a goal in this 3rd term. We've seen a number of behinds, 4 to St Kilda and 3 to Richmond.
Yeah, both teams have really had opportunities that they've squandered. And here go the Tigers again, struggling to clear the Saints zone. Danger! Fiora did well. Now he's got to be smart with the ball. Darts away, was looking for support. Oh, watch out, Ty. Had to handball to Bowden. Somehow they maintain possession. Oh, Gasper had Saints coming left, right and centre. Good tackle from Black. Gasper rode the bump and gets away with it despite the pleas for an Aaron Hamill.
You can understand why Richmond supporters get so frustrated.
Well, it's poor football.
I'm frustrated.
It's poor football. Like, they've got to look forward. There's got to be half forwards presenting. They weren't presenting. They're just getting themselves into all sorts of trouble.
Oh, again, ball reading the Ottens tap. Out to Coghlan. Up to the wing, over Bowden's head. Morrison gathers, and it's over the line and out of bounds.
And this is their problem at the moment. They've only got 2 forwards inside their half of the ground. They have no one to kick to. When they're running the ball out from their defensive half, they've got to go sideways because there's no one presenting.
23 points the margin. Tigers still in this game. If they can get their act together and score from here. The Saints, though, counter-attacking from the wing. Hurried handball is okay. Pickett controlling it. Harvey the master. Out wide. In front of Aussie Jones, who blasts his way through. Guides the kick to Rewald. And surely this time we'll see a goal.
How good was Aussie Jones? Have a look at this. The blind turn, and then the composure just to steady and deliver. Great stuff.
1 goal, 2 for the day for Nick Rewald. 7 marks. Missed one from a similar position before, but there's no mistake. Saints get the opening goal of the half. 11-10, 76 to 7-5, 47.
And the delivery is just so important here. We just see Aussie Jones, first of all, just ride the bump, the blind turn there, but put out the space nice and quickly as well. Gives you forward every chance.
Margin out to 29 points. Ottens in good position, tries to get it down to Brown, now in the midfield. He started this quarter at full forward. Tivendale carried forward, no free kick. Secondary bounce. Inside 50s, St Kilda 36, Richmond 20. Noble done a pretty good job in the ruck. Up against Stafford and Ottens. Spills out wide to Coghlan. Tackle from Pickett. He held it a long time in the tackle. Hayes got it to Powell. Now Harvey. Looking for an option. Kicks towards Rewald. But well done by Ottens. He got back, filled the hole. And he marks 45 metres from his own defensive goal.
I can't believe how many Richmond players actually lead sideways. There's no one presenting up to the ball. They're leading sideways. No one's coming from the half-forward line.
Voss in front. Nice little shove there from Morrison. Brown versus Pickett. Brown now playing further afield. And he had to go to the boundary line. Had a call from a teammate. Unfortunately, he was on the bench. 17 minutes since the last goal. The Tigers have had their share of opportunities. Haven't been able to convert. Here's Ottens again, winning another tap. And again, the Saints able to make it a neutral ball at ground level. The Saints leading the clearances 21-17, yet the hit-outs have been strongly in Richmond's favour. Noble and Ottens again. Look at all the numbers around the ball. Ottens wins the tap, gets it to Hyde. But the Saints again able to lock it up. (11-10 to 7-5). Ottens again wins the tap into the Tiger lap, but the Saints get it away.
There's a fire on behind the play, and there's going to be a report. There is going to be a report, and it's going to be Stephen Baker, and he's been reported for striking Kane Johnson, and there's the aftermath of that report. I just happened to be watching off the ball, Hutto, and Baker and Cracker were involved, and then Baker ran at Johnson, and you'll just see it in the background here, and there it is, bang.
Baker had been roughing up Andrew Cracker, boys, and Kane Johnson went over to support Cracker, bumped Stephen Baker in the back, and that's how Baker retaliated.
Nothing brave about that.
He'll have a couple of weeks to think about it, you would think.
And also some time on the bench as well. And straight on the phone, Stephen Baker to Grant Thomas.
Now Zantac, the Tigers. They need someone to stand up and pull down a big grab. Stafford at least made the contest. Jones still had the confidence to keep it in. Del Santo. Jones again. Tigers forwards working hard and forcing something of an error. Although Jones a bit... No, play on. Ottens kept it alive. Campbell. Now the Tigers need something here. Into the pocket. Hardigan, the young man.
Yeah, good to see Nathan Brown get over to him and just settle him down.
And I'm sure Grant Thomas just telling Baker, just unnecessary, undisciplined act.
Hasn't kicked a goal yet in his first 2 games. And goes for a pass, doesn't try. And instead goes for the more experienced option in Wayne Campbell.
Big kick this one for the Tigers. You'd think they'd need to kick this if they want any chance of winning this game.
Kane Johnson we saw getting some repairs after that clash with Baker. But Wayne Campbell, big load on his shoulders here, and the captain of the Tigers just didn't give it enough. Didn't give it enough ride, and as a result, the ball worked through from behind by the Saints.
Jones from fullback, Del Santo. Long option is Peckett, and he can run Peckett. Chased by Hardigan is very good, but he kicks inside, attacking 50. Gehrig one out. Gasper did brilliantly towards the line. Kellaway this time disguises it well.
Played a fair game, Gasper. Had 2 difficult opponents in Rewalt and now Gehrig. Critical punch, that.
Down to Andrew Marr.
Johnson back on. It's like the Tigers don't realise how close they are here. Justin Kaczynski's off with a badly strained thigh. Effectively, St Kilda's down to 2 fit men on the bench.
Chance here for the Saints. Stafford, one in fact in the front by Fiora. Black, searching handball. Kellaway paddles it. Hamill, well tackled by Zantuck, and he did enough to tie it up. Tie Zantuck.
I guess by playing the style of game they have today, Steve, they've reduced the potential damage that made it more difficult for the Saints to have a huge victory here.
Yeah, well, I think you've got to win the game, and they played the style of games that took winning.
Stafford to Hamill. Thompson, sorry, Steve, as he snaps and just misses.
Their game, particularly in the second half of that first quarter, was outstanding. They ran the ball, they played one-on-one football, and they were able to get the ball nice and quickly into their forward half. At the moment, it's just far too slow, and there's just no momentum, particularly off their half-back line where they're trying to get some run.
Callaway marks the kick in.
And this is where they've been going sideways all day.
Well, this is, in my view, where he needs to just kick to Hall, the long option.
Well, you've got to present...
Which is what he does now.
Yeah.
Rewald brought it to the front. The big men of St Kilda doing the work of the small men there.
And just going back to that, Michael, you've at least got to present, and if the ball isn't kicked to you, you run out of that space and let someone else come into that space.
Aaron Hamill just 4 possessions today, and was reported earlier on. There's a whistle. The umpire plucking one out, going Richmond's way. Goes to Greg Stafford.
Yeah, half-hearted leads, no leads coming. Not one lead coming.
Now one comes from Ray Hall. He and Morrison both flying. At the back, Harvey, Morrison, Bowden, Tivendale.
Gee, I've been impressed, Steve, with the St Kilda tackling. 34 tackles to 29, but they've been ferocious in the way they've attacked their Richmond players when they haven't had the football.
Hyde, Peckett, Del Santo spots a man inboard. It's Black, and we know he's got a lethal long left foot. He decides to go for Gehrig. Good option. And the Saints, through Fraser Gehrig, can just about put the Tigers out of their misery here.
Yes, and when the ball comes in that quickly, it does give you forward every chance, and it was only a metre that Gehrig had on Gasper.
There's an injured Tiger. We'll get more of that in a moment. Meantime, Gehrig's kick 5. And the Saints have got 12-11-83 to 7-6-48.
And just watch how quickly this ball goes into the St Kilda forward line. Space galore for Fraser Gehrig to lead into.
Down to Andrew for some news on Chris Hyde.
Extremely badly caught Kip Hutto. As soon as it happened, he couldn't put his foot on the ground. He's come off. So there goes the numerical advantage that Richmond had over St Kilda, down to 2 fit players now.
Coughlin. Now Del Santo. Good tackle coming from Johnson. Back on the ground after copping that head injury after the clash with Stephen Baker. Baker, of course, reported, along with Aaron Hamill this afternoon. Big pack of players around the football. Stafford gets it down, but it's going nowhere, so another bounce.
And on that Hamill report, we've looked through the tapes and it was well off the ball, and so there's no conclusive vision of that incident. So it'll be interesting to see what happens during the week with that one.
Stafford doing battle with Kosicki, and from the side Del Santo knocked it wide of the pack to Powell, who hoists it high. Black made some ground to mark that, did Heath Black. And he is a thumping kick. He could kick this from here. Winds up on the left boot. Kicks it to the top of the goal square. In fact, it's through the goal square. And in the end, ricochets off onto the post. So behind to the Saints. Their lead now, an even 6 goals.
Bowden can't quite find his man. Good running, though, by Tivendale. Gets good support off the ball, and suddenly the Tigers into attack at centre half forward. Morrison certainly hasn't been their worst player. Paid that mark. Chips it over the top, and good running down the ground. And Ray Hall I reckon he's been pretty lively, our forward, since he's gone there.
He's been very good. He's presented. In fact, he's been one of the few players up there that's presented. Started off, of course, at centre-half back, or full-back, in fact, on Gehrig. But he really has, Steve, in this third quarter presented. As we look at the injury to Chris Hyde here. No, we don't look at the injury to Chris Hyde.
So far this quarter, there's been 2 goals, 10 kicked by both sides combined. The Tigers finally get one through. Ray Hall, who's taken 7 marks for the afternoon. That's his first goal.
Well, it's their first goal since the 25th minute mark of that second quarter. But how much better they look when they actually run the ball with a bit of purpose. They got it up there nice and quickly, which gave Ray Hall all the space in the world to take an easy mark.
Only 30 points in it.
Margin 5 goals, and with all the perceived St Kilda dominance, Richmond, they're not far away. Another quick one here. They'll be right back in the match. Tivendale dispossessed. Oh, ball crashes his way through the pack. Kicks inside, attacking 50. Rewald on the lead. Tries to control it. Now a chance for Milne. Tigers are good in defence though. Fiora got it out to Brown. Sweeping handball to Coughlin. Just chips out wide. Fleming. Oh, now did he play on? He's been called to play on. Somehow got it to Zantuck. No damage done there. Zantuck wheels around. Nowhere to go. So he gives it back to Chaffee. Inside attacking 50. Penny did brilliantly to work to the front against Ottens. And he relieves the pressure. Harvey. And he's got Del Santo out wide. Uses him. Players running hard, although Del Santo muffed it. Jones in support, but the handball missed the mark. So good perseverance there by Hartigan. And we get a ball up just the attacking side of the wing for the Tigers. A boundary throw.
Closing couple of seconds of the third quarter. It wasn't the most inspirational quarter of football, Steve.
No, it wasn't. Very scrappy, but really St Kilda in control of this game. They are winning around the stoppages, getting the ball nice and quickly to their key forwards in Gehrig and also Rewald. But if Richmond really want to get back into the game, they must start winning the clearances and also getting the ball in quickly into their forward line, but also run hard and direct.
30 points is the margin. Tough, but not impossible. As we look ahead to the last term, Steve, where's the Tigers going to come from?
Well, they need to run, and they've got plenty of fresh legs with Fleming, Hyde. Hartigan's only played 44 minutes of the game. Rode and Coughlin. So they've got on-ballers, and they need to run strong and direct towards their goal if they're going to win.
A couple of injury problems for the Saints there, Michael.
Yes, a couple of injury. Schwartz, of course, a late replacement for Xavier Clark. Thompson still some run there, and of course Stephen Milne has spent considerable time on the bench.
Down to Andrew Marr.
There's no doubt that the St Kilda bench is being severely tested now. Hutto, Kaczynski's going to start this quarter on the ground, but he's got a badly strained thigh. Stephen Baker sitting on the bench with his tracksuit top on. I don't think Grant Thomas wants to bring him back on the ground after that indiscretion. And Chris Hyde went straight down to the rooms for the Tigers with that extremely badly called kip, and I don't expect to see him back. He joins Richardson as out of this game.
Thanks, Andrew. Justin Kaczynski.
Well, I'm surprised if he's got a badly strained thigh that they've put Kaczynski back on, because he's going to start in the ruck in this final term.
Brown to full forward.
The umpire, you see at the bottom of the screen there, Kane Johnson. He just had words from the umpire, Steve McBurney, I think, just informing him of the report from the third quarter. Baker was reported for striking Johnson. The margin 30 points as we begin the last quarter. Kaczynski getting the tap down. Coughlin's kick not going anywhere. Black, lightning hands, out to Powell. Saints surging forward, Hamill, and they kept on coming. Lenny Hayes behind. They just seem to know with instinct that where their players are, with lots of support coming from behind them.
Exactly. You're spot on there. You talk about support, and that's what they do very well at the moment, St Kilda, particularly their running on ballers.
Tivendale at fullback. Tigers need to be long, direct in this final term. Something they haven't been for most of the afternoon. Long kick. This is better. Ottens with the spoil. Numbers at the fall, though. Thompson inside to Powell. Off a couple of steps. Can he find a target? Harvey, no. Just had to stretch. Couldn't hold on. Now a chance for Black. Can't pick up the football, and the Tigers' defence get back in number, although the umpire lets it go. And Newman just sees it over. Harvey just couldn't quite haul it in with the one hand. So the margin out to 32 points in favour of the Saints.
Quick kick in from Tivendale. He spotted a man, Callaway, up ahead. Around the corner, Voss in front here. Fleming trailing him to the footy and the boundary line. Oh, ball providing good support. Noble Voss to get the kick away. Black. They knew he was going to his left side, but still he got clear and got it into Rewald. Gasper to spoil. He did that successfully. Rewald surrounded by Tigers. Well played by Newman. Oh, dangerous kick from Fiora. And Hamill was reading it beautifully. And he has a pretty simple shot to just about put the Tigers away.
Well, that's what happens when you put under pressure. The Tigers defenders were under enormous pressure from the outskirt of this quarter. It's been down there for the majority of the time. Fiora, poor option. I'm pretty sure Aaron Hamill will hurt him.
Hasn't had a lot to do today, Aaron Hamill. He's always a big presence up forward. And the former skipper puts it through the middle. And takes the Saints out to a 6-goal buffer.
And we just see the effort by Gasper was sensational, but the work by also Rewald off the ball put pressure on Fiora just there and caused the turnover.
Great start to the final term by St Kilda. Margin out to 38 points. Ottens, Kazitsky, Coughlin scrambles it forward only as far as Peckett. Is away. Justin Peckett drives it long inside, attacking 50. Hamill and Zantuck. Which way will it go? Free kick to Zantuck.
Played a great game today, Ty Zantuck. Hamill just the 6 possessions for the day.
Chips it out wide to Chaffee. Now this is where they get into trouble. He kicks out wide to the lead of Morrison. Penny's played very well as well. Gives away a free kick on this occasion. Now Morrison needs to just kick it long and direct. Hall provides the target. He honours the lead. In front of Maguire. Maguire worked to the front though. Campbell, good handball. Now Johnson squares it up. Brown has got it. And Steve, that was a great example of how to play. Kick long to the target. It was a contest, but get players to the fall of the ball, which they did in Campbell. And as a consequence, Brown now kicking for goal from just 25 metres.
Yeah, and a clever kick here by Kane Johnson.
Nathan Brown. Kicked 3 goals last week, has kicked 1 already this afternoon. He's been a prominent player. He's had 22 possessions. Must kick goal this for the Tigers. He comes in and squeezes it through, does he, or has he just missed? He's kicked it. So the Tigers kick goal number 9 and the margin back to 32 points.
Yeah, you just talked about kicking to a target. They did exactly that, Richmond. They were able to crumb the ball. Ended up in Kane Johnson's hands, and Nathan Brown did the rest.
Matthew Richardson's been a frustrated spectator for almost the entire afternoon after doing a hamstring in the opening minutes of the game. Margin cut back to 32 after that last goal by Nathan Brown, which again tested the goal umpire, didn't it? It's been an interesting weekend for the umpires.
Oh, they've got an extremely difficult job, though, Anthony.
Of course.
We need 2 of them.
Steve. Down the middle. Schwartz's kick was smothered. Nathan Brown, 23 possessions for the day and 2 goals, 1 joining Andrew Cracker. Certainly multiple goal kickers for the Tigers. Ottens again, down to Coghlan. Tivendale, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4 St Kilda players surrounding him.
And how do we talk before the game about St Kilda's dominance inside 50 marking? They've had 12 today. Richmond have actually beaten them. They've had 14, but it hasn't been reflected on the scoreboard, unfortunately.
Tigers trailing by 32, continuing to play a loose man in defence, Sauce.
On Fraser Garrick. Fiora just standing in front of Garrick.
Alton's getting it down again, Coghlan. Ball, Powell. Now to Thompson. Throw. Brett Allen was right there and saw it. Comes back to Fleming, he looks up. He's got Hall deep and Morrison. And also Brown, but went short. Mark not paid. Kaczynski just threw it out. The umpire now calls for a bounce.
And we talk about leading. Once again, not one Richmond player led up to the ball, which would have opened space behind him.
Ottens again wins the tap, straight into St Kilda's arms. Margin still 32, early stages of this last quarter. Luke Ball shows them how to do it as a ruckman, just punches it forward. Newman to Johnson, good kick.
Well done.
And finds Morrison, who has taken 6 marks now and kicked 1 goal for the day.
Yes, pretty important kick, this one for the Tigers. But once, you win the ball from the stoppage. Good little tap on there. And Kane Johnson, he's done some lovely kicks or short passes today to a number of the Richmond forwards.
So Morrison's kick. Nothing stylish about it, and it was touched inside the field of play.
Yeah, well, that's unforgivable as well, not having a tall forward in the goal square. Always a chance that the ball's going to drop short.
Saints bring it in from play. Jones, great kick to Peckett, who's found plenty of space this afternoon. Justin Peckett, casual bounce into second. Kick towards Garrick is perfect. Garrick's been a star. He's kicked 5. 2 for 8 to score this time. Garrick provides a lead and he's marked it.
So it was a great grab if he got to it.
Well, some concern by the Richmond players that he didn't quite scoop it up. We'll watch it again. And did he get his hands underneath it? No. So a lucky break there for St Kilda. Let's look at it from another angle, from behind. Yeah, clearly touched the ground, so a little lucky there, Rewald. He's kicked 2-2. This to put the game beyond doubt. He comes in and squeezes it through. Great kick, Nick Rewald. Well, it just wobbled off the boot, but it was able to, came round. And the Saints now out to a 37-point.
Well, he's a bit lucky all round, Nick Rewald. This mark was paid when it probably shouldn't have been paid. And the kick, well, it wobbled through, but everything going St Kilda's way at the moment.
.28 scoring shots to 16, a crowd of 43,400 at the Telstra Dome. Easter Monday football. And this young St Kilda side continues to impress. They're just rolling on, chalking out win after win at the moment. They've got exciting players of all varieties. That was a little over vigorous from Heath Black. He might get another chance as Fiora lets his fist fly for just a moment.
Stephen Milne needs longer stops in his boots. I reckon he slipped over 7 or 8 times today.
And how long should those stops be, Michael?
Longer than what they are, Stephen.
Adventurous kick into the middle for Chaffey. Tivendale suddenly The world caving in around the Tiger players. Well played by Kane Johnson, got a kick away. Roden. And now Tivendale onto his trusty left in the direction of Bowden. Power was hanging on. Everyone could see it. So could Brent Allen.
Very interesting stat here. Time in possession, Richmond 42% to St Kilda's 35, which just, I think, underlines what we've been saying, Steve, about this possession football and indirect football that the Tigers have been playing.
And it gets them into trouble. I think if you have a look at the Richmond losses, when they overuse the ball, they tend to go short and they don't go direct, and it's exactly what happens. It's what's happened today.
In this game last year, Joel Bowden had 20 possessions and kicked 2 goals. On that occasion, the Tigers won. Today, he's lining up for his second goal. He's had 20 possessions already. The Tigers are going down. Bowden reduces the margin with a goal.
And we see the free kick here on screen. Umpire right there on the scene. The grabbing of the jumper. Correct decision.
And a good finish by Joel Bowden. Margin back to 31 points. Still plenty of time if the Tigers are good enough. Ottens, shot by Harvey. Hayes. Del Santo. Oh, gee, Schwartz did well. Made a passage. Now it's with Hayes. Good chase by Hardigan, concedes ground to Voss, off a step, long towards half forward, Chaffee in good position, good spoil from Kaczynski. Illegal spoil.
Good
Chaffee with a free kick. Kicks out wide, Bowden. This is where they need to be long and direct. Tivendale provides an option, and that's where Bowden goes back to centre half back. And see, that's what we're talking about, where Chaffee now has to go back. If that man is free at centre-half back, Steve, fine. But when he needs to go back off the mark, it's not effective. Roden's got it in the centre. It's given time now for St Kilda to get numbers back inside their defensive 50. Roden just wobbles it, floats it, in fact, off the boot, straight to Kaczynski.
It was a mighty big if before, Michael. Time if they're good enough, the Tigers, because it's the Saints that are dominant here at the moment.
Great shepherding by Goddard.
Good protection, wasn't it? Gave him time to spot up Gehrig, who just got himself to the back, but he seduced the ball somehow. Couldn't get it to go the right way off his boot, however. And it stays in play. No, it doesn't. It just crawls over the line.
Big man, Fraser Gehrig.
That's true.
That's true.
He is a big man.
Good observation.
He's had a big day too. Stevie Milne goes to work off the left boot, and Johnson just gets fingertips to it.
Hasn't stopped trying, Kane Johnson.
He's had 22 possessions, just one behind Nathan Brown, who's had 23.
Johnson from the back pocket. Oh, gee, numbers though with the Saints. Del Santo didn't give Hall much of a chance there, Johnson. Kick to the advantage of his St Kilda opponent. Harvey now just chips in short. Good mark taken by Black. Spoil from Fiora. Quite vigorous enough. Kicks out wide. Schwartz has got to go here. He does. Marks. Very crowded inside St Kilda's attacking 50. Hamill, Gehrig and Riewoldt all down the top of the goal square. Hamill wants it long. Riewoldt breaks to the pocket. That's the direction the kick takes, but somehow Gehrig emerged from the congestion and has marked 40 metres from goal. A kick from about 42 metres.
Well, it's incredible he found space, because Richmond had all their numbers back. But the kick was spot on.
Well, Fraser Gehrig this afternoon, 7 marks, coming in for possession number 10. He's kicked 5 goals, 1. And A chance to snuff out any sort of hope the Tigers had. He comes in. Has he kicked it? No, he's just missed. 5-2 the tally this afternoon for the St Kilda full forward.
30 scoring shots to 17. So the damage could have been considerably worse.
They've kicked 4 goals, 10 since half-time, the Saints.
Chaffee goes for Hall. Again, he's got 2 Saints to contend with. One of them, Kaczynski, who just couldn't cap off his great aerial work there. Schwartz. His low-flying kick was a little too low. Roden and Johnson. Schwartz pursues. Great tackle, laid it very effectively. St Kilda players tackling each other there as well as...
Yeah, it's been one of their highlights, St Kilda, their tackling today. And it's been 41 for the day for the Saints, right across the board, and they've all shared the workload.
Rewald trying to get it to Milne, but Chaffee maybe just got boot to ball. Again, they're run down, and he's fired away. I reckon he's almost kicked a goal for the Saints there, hasn't he? Up the left boot, Aaron Fiora.
But that's the pressure St Kilda forwards are putting on the Richmond backman at the moment. The ball's hardly got out of that forward 50, or their forward 50 all quarter, and the Richmond backmen look very tired. And I'm sure they are tired.
Could it go in goal of the year if we kick it for the other team?
Wasn't a bad snap, was it? Tivendale, dangerous. Robin Harvey, 32 years of age, 4 best and fairest, 2 Brownlow medals. Wrapped him up, let me down. Schwartz, ball missed the football, and he goes back in and gets it, chips it back. Harvey a second chance. He's outside 50 this time. Delivers short. Milne.
I can tell you right now, you wouldn't want to be a Tiger defender. They would be extremely tired. That ball has not moved out of their forward 50, or their back 50, I should say. And they are under enormous pressure.
Luke Ball just so clean with his hands. So much poise for a young player.
Inside 50s up to 50 for St Kilda, 28 for Richmond.
Well, Stephen Milne, just the 3 points this afternoon. Goalless last week, kicked 4 in the opening round. Kicks that one across the face, and 4 behinds the total for Stephen Milne this afternoon.
They're 28 inside 50s for Richmond. In their first week, they had 54 inside 50s. They went down to 43 last week, and today they're only at 28.
Tivendale's kick again, not making it particularly easy for his intended target as Rewald makes the spoil over Stafford. And it'll be interesting to see the Tiger fans' response to this performance today.
Well, you wouldn't be too happy. I think, really, their game plan's fallen down. They haven't worked for each other. And the short time they did, halfway through that first quarter, they looked like a real footy team.
Voss and Pickett controlling it out for Ball, who is going to get the benefit of the doubt here.
He's been outstanding, Luke Ball, coming in for possession number 21.
And he was immense early, wasn't he, in the opening quarter?
Awesome.
Gehrig is deep, so's Rewald. Just kick it down there. Rewald almost. Zanto to Brown. Cracker. Got a few options through centre half back, but he goes wide to Bowden, who's got space to work in. Fiora along the line to Morrison, who takes mark number 7. Switches inboard to Stafford, which is okay. It's just what they're going to do from here. Altons makes a lead deep for the cracker kick. It won't get there, though. Goddard, the interception. He needs to be quick with his hands. He wasn't. Campbell goes for Hartigan. And again, the young man gets the chance to have a shot for his first goal in AFL footy.
Yes, they look like a tired team, Richmond. Very tired team. A lot of players standing still. But young Hardigan is having a crack in this last quarter.
Disappointing looking kick. It might make it through for a goal. No, it was touched.
There's another tight kick, though.
Aussie Jones been very good this afternoon. Brilliant piece of play in the third quarter to set the goal up for Nick Riewoldt. Long, Kazitsky the target. Contest from Johnson. Numbers at the fall with the Saints. Del Santo. Brilliantly done by Brown. Gets it to Cracker. Good tackle from Hayes. Coughlin. I don't know where that was. In fact, there's a free kick coming back to Cracker against Hayes for a push in the back.
Just rode him into the ground once he applied the tackle when he Hayes.
Morrison kicks across towards Stafford, but Voss did well. He turned at the right time.
It's another poor kick, wasn't it?
No penetration. Brett Voss has really been in the walls. He's been fantastic today. 7 marks coming in for his 14th possession. With Jones and Voss supporting Penny and Maguire, this St Kilda defence, which I think was perceived as a bit of a weakness, has really stood firm in the opening 3 rounds of the season. Voss again gets on the end of the handball from Peckett. Wobbly old kick. Riewoldt in front. Leaks up with Harvey, who kicks across the ground. Milne.
It was quick, wasn't it? Even the release of the handball was quick. He didn't wait. Ball into the forward line nice and quickly. Milne was on the end.
Well, he's kicked 4 behinds. As we watch it again, the quick hand, ball off to Harvey, and Milne 10 metres in front of Fiora. Right on the edge, you would think, of Stephen Milne's kicking range. 4 behinds this afternoon for the goal sneak. Chance here for his first. Drop punt, wobbles, still in play. Black will kick a goal. So the kick from Milne, not quite being there, but ball stayed in. And Heath Black, who's been a valuable player as well this afternoon, was able to finish it off.
Much improved player, Heath Black. Really, he's having a very good start to this season.
Steve, on the goal line like that, you've just got to get it through. You've just got to get it through.
Well, not the first time today they haven't put the fist onto the ball and get it through for a behind, Richmond.
More good news for St Kilda fans. They now sit atop the AFL ladder at the end of round 3. If this continues, joining Brisbane, Port Adelaide and the Kangaroos, and the Saints in front on percentage as Riewoldt comes charging through and plucks another one out of the air.
How did he get that?
I tell you what, I reckon Aaron Hamill had a bit to do with it. He just held the pack back. Riewoldt just ran onto the ball.
15 possessions, 10 marks. It's great to watch him in full flight. One of the young superstars in the game. 4 goals for the day as the Saints continue their march in this AFL season. Unbeaten.
I thought you were going to say to September then.
Well, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves here. I want to say we, of course, has been the royal we, not any bias at all shown in any commentary, Michael, but the Saints, gee, it's hard to know who's going to stop them. I know they play Brisbane in round 6. No matter what happens between now and then, it's going to be one heck of a game.
There's no question they're certainly emerging as the side that looks best equipped to challenge the mighty Brisbane Lions. Noble, who's been very serviceable today. After Blake went down early, Coughlin kicked towards half forward. Well done by Maguire, got a fist in there. Brown was alert and clever. Now Bowden, with a bouncer, runs in and misses from 25 metres. Which about sums it up for the Tigers. Margin 45 points.
Tigers play the Cats next week, Steve. That will be one huge game for both coaches, won't it, and the supporter groups?
It will, I guess, for both teams, a bit of thinking to do over the next week.
Ozzie Jones into Riewoldt again. Just does the discipline thing, gives Fraser Gehrig another chance. That time, the task insurmountable even for big Fraser. Stafford got a couple of options through centre half back, but took a risk in going short and wide. Hartigan, 114, plays 69. Closing stages of this game, a forgettable game as far as the Tigers are concerned. After the season started in such promising fashion.
Well, this has been their story all day. The short passing, no movement. Just got no penetration. There's no run coming behind Nathan Brown. So they're forced to go sideways.
Johnson, and now Bowden, who has his 25th disposal. Not a bad one. Ottens takes the mark. Ottens 6 marks for the day, 7 make it now after that one. And 11 possessions, but no goals. Stafford also no goals. And of course Matthew Richardson, who got injured very early, no goals. Johnson to the square, all St Kilda, and the game ends. Grant Thomas refuses to crack a smile, despite the fact that his team has won in comprehensive fashion again. 34 scoring shots to 19. Nick Riewoldt and Fraser Gehrig bags of 4 and 5. As their young star Luke Ball was in the thick of it particularly early, and here he is with Andrew Marr.
He was indeed, Hutto. Luke, fantastic start to the game. You set it up early, you were instrumental in the middle of the ground. Everything's going beautifully, 3-0.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to get another win, and as you say, go 3-0. Obviously, it's better than losing. Probably didn't play as well as we have been for the last couple of weeks, but I suppose it's a good sign to still get the points when you're not playing that well.
Well, that is the positive. In a lot of other years in St Kilda's lifetime, they might have lost a game like this when they don't play well, but you still walk out of it with a 7.5 goal victory, which must be really comforting to the group.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Richmond are a good side too. You know, if you're off the ball a little bit, you know, they've got some really good players and really damaging players who'll you know, do damage. And so, as you say, it was good to get through it and get a decent win.
Your depth is something that's noteworthy. The number of players you can roll through key parts of the ground, particularly the midfield. You had some quality players sitting on the bench today. It must be great to be able to share the load like that.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we're trying to focus on. You know, trying to get an even spread across the board. And you know, I suppose with Max being out, it's given another couple of young blokes to stand up and take key defensive roles. And then through the middle, us young blokes are sort of trying to get in there and help you know, the halves and the Hayes out. So, so far so good. Yeah.
And just finally, Fraser Gehrig must look massive to you blokes when you're bringing the ball forward. He's a giant of a man.
He's a big man. I still remember walking through the door on my first day at the club and thinking, oh my God, he is that big. He's a big man. I think he came around with 5 or 6 again today, so he provides a really good target for us.
Good on you, Luke. Back to you, Hutto.
Thanks, Andrew. Not only a wonderful player, but a very well-spoken young man. Got an enormous future ahead of him, as has the rest of this big playing group, boys.
Well, they have, and you look at their midfield at the moment, they've established a midfield that really is going to challenge any midfield in the competition with the likes of Powell, Ball, Harvey, Hayes, Black, Del Santo and Goddard. Plenty of youth and plenty of experience there also, and they were well on top today.
What's going to knock them off, do you think? What sort of team will beat them, and have they got a real weakness?
Well, I'd like to probably see them physically challenged, and I believe that test will come up when they come up against Brisbane, and really their defence will be challenged then. And
I think if they've got a weakness, it is their defence with the key defensive post. But so far, Penny and Maguire have been fantastic.
Well, and their defence has had the least points scored against them so far this season.
And you've got Jones and Voss supporting those key defensive defenders, and I tell you, they've really stepped up, and they couldn't be more impressive in the opening 3 rounds, the Saints.
Well, they certainly dominated today. They trailed at quarter time by 3 points. They had a lot more of the ball even at that stage. But from there on, they wrested control. They were a little inaccurate in front of goal. But the final scoreline, 34 more scoring shots. 34 scoring shots to 19. 114 to 69, the Saints win.
To be in St.Kilda, when the Saints go marching in.